What's up everyone, it's Elliot here back with another film review for you guys, and today I'm going to be talking about a film called The Accountant, which might sound like an absolute snooze fest, but you know, give it a chance, it's not that bad. It's about an accountant who kills loads of people. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor and it's got an absolutely star-studded cast. It's got Ben Affleck in the leading role, you've probably seen him in all the trailers and stuff like that. It's got Anna Kendrick, John Lithgow, J.K. Simmons, Jeffrey Tambor and John Bernthal. I mean, this is just a whole load of people that I really admire. Now this seems like a recipe for success. I mean, look at all those beautiful, wonderful people. But is it the case of too many cooks spoiling the broth? To that, the answer is unfortunately yes. Ben Affleck is great. You know, I loved seeing his performance in this film, but everyone else does not get the chance to shine, which is just a travesty. Why have all these brilliant people in a film if you're not going to give them the time of day to do what they do best? It's almost as if the filmmakers just want to make a load of money by featuring a load of famous people in the film. So our boy Ben Affleck plays an accountant. Wait, that's why it's called The Accountant? He is an extremely gifted individual with a form of high-functioning autism who basically goes around uncooking the books for a load of companies, including some very, very shady companies, and within minutes he is essentially able to find out where the leakages of money are within said companies. He makes a curious revelation about one of these customers, which greatly angers them, so he then has to go on the run from them. Plus, he also is running away from the US Treasury Department, who have started to realise that something fishy is going on with this accountant. So yeah, it sounds like it could be a bit of a snooze fest, but he is a deadly accountant with seemingly unparalleled skills in marksmanship and hand-to-hand combat. Judo chop! By all accounts, this is a superhero film and he is a superhero. He is just not dressed like one. And this is my major problem with the film. Not only does Ben Affleck play Batman, and I kept thinking this is Batman, but in this film the guy is invincible. He is infallible, and this removes any ounce of peril in this film whatsoever. In all of the action scenes, which are pretty much the best bit of this film, I never ever ever felt like he was going to lose. It's a real shame because I was greatly fond of his character. The portrayal of autism was very admirable because it could have been done with a lot less taste, like many other films that have tried to tackle the subject. Oh, and he brings some gaspingly dry humour delivered in such a deadpan way that got many a chuckle from me. Onto the other actors in the film though, like I mentioned before, they really all are sidelined. They don't get given the time of day, and it's unfortunate. John Bernthal is usually outstanding. We know him as Shane from The Walking Dead, or more recently as the Punisher from the Daredevil Netflix series. His character is quite indistinguishable from anyone else in the film, and he only really gets any sort of character development whatsoever at the end of the film when it's just kind of dumped on him all at once. Jeffrey Tambor is in this film for about 5 seconds, which is a shame, but in the scenes that he does have in this film, they're all in prisons, which just reminded me of him in Arrested Development. Anna Kendrick gets a lot of screen time in this film, but really her character is just so inconsequential. She's set up as a companion or a love interest to Ben Affleck, but really she has no bearing on the story whatsoever. Again, John Lithgow is in this film for about 10 seconds, so what is even the point? And J.K. Simmons is pretty much confined to be behind a desk for the whole film, just being angry at people, like we've never seen that before from him. The accountant begins to rely way too much on narrative cliches, and by the end of the film, the way they have to then tie up all of the different loose ends just feels so contrived. The Accountant is a fun film, but ultimately it just had me thinking that it could have been orchestrated a lot more tightly. For that, I'm going to give The Accountant 3 out of 5 stars. As ever, thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've seen The Accountant, please let me know in the comments below because I want to hear what you thought about it. I will be back with more film videos very soon, but until then, goodbye everyone.